Sonic's Green Hills Adventure Season 6 Chapter 12 PTSD Flashback. The quiet of the bed and breakfast was shattered in the middle of the night by a sound that made every heart in the house skip a beat. It wasn't a hero's battle cry or a confident shout. It was a raw, agonizing scream that echoed through the hallways. In his room, Sonic was thrashing beneath the covers, his eyes squeezed shut as sweat beaded on his brow. In his mind, the 21st century comfort of Storybrooke had vanished, replaced by the cold, damp walls of a prison cell in Robotropolis. He could feel the heavy, jagged weight of the shock collar around his neck. He could hear the hum of the electricity and the cold, mechanical laugh of Saddam Robotnik. Sonic choked out a desperate gasp, his hands flying to his throat as he clawed at the air.
No! Stop! Please! I can't!
In the dream, the current surged. His vision went white. He felt that terrifying, hollow stillness in his chest, the moment his heart had actually stopped before the revival. The door burst open. Shadow and Marina were the first inside, having been alerted by their sharp senses. Shadow flicked on the bedside lamp, the warm glow revealing Sonic curled into a ball, shaking violently as he gripped his neck. Shadow's usual chill demeanor replaced by urgent, lively concern as he knelt by the bed.
Sonic, Blue, look at me. You're not there. Wake up.
Marina's reddish-pink quills were trembling as she sat on the edge of the bed, reaching out to gently pry Sonic's hands away from his throat.
Sonic, honey, it's me. It's Marina. You're safe. You're in Storybrooke. Breathe. Sonic, please just breathe.
Sonic's eyes snapped open, but they were wide and glassy, darting around the room as if searching for a robotic guard. He was hyperventilating, his heart racing so fast it felt like it might burst. Sonic's voice was hoarse and trembling, his hand still trembling against his neck.
I felt it. The color. It wouldn't stop. Everything went dark. Marina! I couldn't breathe. I died. I felt it happen again.
Shadow placed a firm, grounding hand on Sonic's shoulder, his voice steady and calm.
Listen to my voice. You're here. Robotnik is gone. That collar is dust. You're the fastest thing alive, and you're alive right now. Feel your pulse. It's steady. I've got you.
Marina pulled Sonic into a tight embrace, resting her head against his chest so he could feel the rhythm of her own breathing. She rubbed his back with soothing circles, her hazel eyes filled with tears of empathy.
We didn't realize it was still hurting you this much. Oh, Sonic, you don't have to be the invincible hero for us. That day, it did a number on you. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to remember, but you're not back there. We're never letting anyone touch you like that again.
Sonic slowly began to stop shaking, the phantom pain in his throat fading as he leaned into Marina's warmth. He gripped her hand tightly, his breathing finally starting to level out. Sonic whispered, his voice small.
I usually just run past it. I don't like thinking about the time I didn't get away. I'm supposed to be the one who's always fast enough.
Shadow was looking at him with a respectful, brotherly gaze.
Even the sun has eclipses, Sonic. You went through something no one should have to endure. That's not weakness. That's a scar. And we're here to help you carry it.
By now, Maddie and Tom were at the door, their faces pale with worry, but seeing Shadow and Marina already there, they stepped softly into the room. The realize hit everyone at once. Behind the jokes and the speed, their hero was carrying a heavy burden of PTSD from his time in captivity. The Blue Angels were a family, and tonight, the mission wasn't to save the world, but to save their brother from his own memories. Sonic is finally calm, but he's still shaken. The house remained quiet as Shadow gave a supportive nod, stepping back to let Marina lead the way. She draped a soft blanket over Sonic's shoulders, and the two of them slipped out into the cool Storybrooke night. The air was crisp, smelling of pine and salt, providing a sharp contrast to the stale, metallic memory of the cell. They walked in silence until they reached the end of the pier, where the rhythmic sound of the Atlantic Ocean hitting the pilings acted as a natural metronome for Sonic's breathing. He leaned against the railing, his hands still occasionally drifting to his neck, tracing the fur where that jagged metal had once been. Marina's voice was barely a whisper, standing close enough for their shoulders to touch.
The air is different here, Sonic. It's open. No walls. No damp stone. Just breathe it in.
Sonic took a shuddering breath, his voice still a bit hoarse.
I can still feel the voltage, Marina. It's like a phantom limb, but inside my chest. Every time I closed my eyes back there in the B&B, I was back in that cell, chained to the wall, just waiting.
Marina looked at him with deep, sorrowful eyes.
I remember, Sonic. I was there, and I heard what it was doing to you, and then saw the aftermath when I found you. Robotnik, he just wanted submission. He didn't even realize that by setting that collar to go off whenever you thought of hope or escape, he was basically turning your own heart against you.
Sonic closed his eyes, his grip tightening on the railing.
He didn't know that I can't stop thinking about those things. I was panicking about Annika, worrying if she was okay. And being alone, after those 10 years in the woods, it was the one thing I couldn't handle. Every time I worried about her or thought about a way out, the collar it wouldn't stop. It was like being hit by lightning over and over for hours.
It weakened you. We all saw it. And when he made that final threat against your mother, your heart just couldn't take any more of the surge. It gave out because you cared too much.
Sonic looked out at the dark horizon.
It's like a pileup, Marina. I thought I handled the Longclaw stuff. I thought I handled the isolation in Green Hills by watching the Wachowskis from the bushes. But that cell, it took all those fears. Being alone, being trapped, losing my family, and turned them into physical pain. Now, even here, in a town where I should be safe, my brain thinks I'm still in those chains.
Marina took both of his hands in hers, her hazel eyes fierce with loyalty.
You have PTSD, Sonic. It's not just one thing. It's the weight of everything you've carried since you were 3 years old. But look at where we are. You aren't alone anymore. You have Shadow, who understands the weight of the past. You have Tom and Maddie, Silver, your sister, all our friends. And you have me.
A small, tired smile finally formed as Sonic looked at her.
I'm the fastest thing alive. But I guess I can't outrun my own head, huh?
You don't have to outrun it. You just have to walk through it. We'll stay out here as long as you need. The sea air is yours. The stars are yours, and the chains are gone. I promise.
They stood there for a long time, the hero and the girl who knew his soul, letting the ocean breeze wash away the metallic taste of the past. In the quiet of Storybrooke, the phantom pain finally began to recede, replaced by the steady, living beat of a heart that had survived the impossible. The sky began to transition from a bruised purple to a soft, glowing peach as the sun hovered just below the horizon. The phantom weight around Sonic's neck seemed to lighten with the coming dawn, the salt spray of the Atlantic acting like a balm on his frayed nerves. Sonic watched the light catch the ripples of the water, his voice regaining some of its usual warmth.
You know, the sun always comes up. No matter how bad the night gets, it can't stop the morning. I used to tell myself that every day I spent alone in that cave back home. But sitting here with you, it actually feels true.
Marina squeezed his hand, her reddish-pink fur glowing in the morning light.
It is true, Sonic, but we can't just wait for the sun to fix everything. We have to promise each other right now. No more hiding the dark stuff. No more I'm fine when your heart is racing. And no more running away from the memories of that cell. We talk about it, all of it. The isolation, being separated from Longclaw, Robotnik, everything.
Sonic turned to her, his green eyes reflecting the rising sun.
A pact? No more secrets? Even the ones that make me feel like I'm not the big hero everyone thinks I am?
Especially those. Because the big hero is the guy who survived all that and still has a heart worth protecting. You don't have to be invincible for Meet Blue. You just have to be you.
Sonic let out a long, relieved breath, the tension finally leaving his shoulders.
Okay, I can do that, as long as you're the one I'm talking to.
He looked at her then, really looked at her, seeing the unwavering loyalty in her eyes and the way she had stood by him through every trauma and triumph. The fear of the nightmare felt small compared to the reality of her standing there. Slowly, leaning into the quiet magic of the Storybrooke morning, Sonic moved closer. He cupped her cheek with a gloved hand, his thumb tracing the soft fur of her jawline. Marina leaned in, meeting him halfway. The kiss was soft and lingering, a sweet anchor that grounded Sonic in the present. It wasn't about the adrenaline or the speed. It was about the peace they found in each other. In that moment, the cold chains and the electric hum of the shock collar were replaced by a warmth that reached all the way to his soul. Sonic, pulling back just an inch, his forehead resting against hers, a genuine upbeat smirk returning to his face.
I think that's a way better use for my heart than anything Robotnik had in mind.
Marina giggled softly, her quills brushing against his.
I definitely agree. You're okay, Sonic. You're home.
As the sun finally broke over the horizon, flooding the pier with brilliant gold, the two of them sat side by side. The PTSD wasn't gone. Wounds like that take time. But the shadows were no longer hidden. They were out in the light where they could be healed, one sunrise at a time. Back at the bed and breakfast, the morning light was beginning to filter through the kitchen windows, but the atmosphere was heavy. Shadow sat at the large wooden table, surrounded by Tom, Maddie, Rachel, Jojo, Silver, Maria, and Longclaw. The echo of Sonic's scream from earlier still seemed to hang in the rafters. Shadow usually kept his composure, but seeing Sonic in such agony had shattered his mental dam. His hands were trembling on the table, and for the first time, his lively eyes were filled with a raw, agonizing fear. Shadow's voice cracked as the first sob broke through.
I wasn't sure. I didn't know if it would work. When his heart stopped in that cell, I felt the life go out of him. It was the arc raid all over again. I was standing right there, and I was helpless.
Maddie reached out to touch his arm.
Shadow, you saved him. You brought him back.
Shadow was wailing now, his head dropping into his hands as he let out a heartbroken cry.
I was grasping at straws. I didn't know if my healing ability was strong enough. I had never tried to jumpstart a heart before. I was just screaming inside, begging for it to work. If he hadn't opened his eyes, if I had failed, I would have lost my little brother right in front of me.
Silver's own eyes welling up as he moved closer to hug Shadow's side.
But you did it, Shadow. You're the reason he's here.
Shadow looked up at Maria, his voice thick with tears.
Maria, you weren't back yet. I thought you were gone forever. And then I was watching Sonic slip away too. It was the scariest moment of my life. I fought monsters and gods, but nothing is as terrifying as feeling your brother go cold because someone wanted to break his spirit.
Tom's voice was steady but thick with emotion.
We had no idea you were carrying that weight alone, Shadow. We knew it was bad, but we didn't know you were that uncertain.
Rachel was wiping her eyes with a napkin, her usual sass completely gone.
That poor boy. And you're both so brave for just standing upright after all that.
Outside the kitchen door, in the hallway, Emma, Regina, Killian, and Henry stood frozen. They had come down to check on everyone after hearing the commotion, but they had stopped, unwilling to interrupt such a private, devastating moment. Emma whispered, her voice trembling.
My gosh. I thought our lives were complicated with curses, but they actually watched each other die. They've been carrying that this whole time.
Killian looked down at his hook, his expression grim.
I've seen men broken by the sea, but to see a warrior like Shadow wail like that's a pain that goes deeper than any blade. He wasn't just his brother's protector, he was his life support.
Regina's hand was over her heart, her eyes softened with a rare, deep empathy.
And we wondered why they were so protective of one another. It wasn't just family loyalty. It was the trauma of the what if. Robotnik didn't just hurt Sonic. He scarred the soul of the entire family.
Henry looked at the door with tear-filled eyes.
We have to help them. This town is supposed to be about happy endings. But how do you fix a memory like that?
Inside, Longclaw stepped forward, her large feathered wings wrapping around Shadow in a protective embrace.
You did not fail, Shadow. You reached into the darkness and pulled him back. That is not the mark of helplessness. It is the mark of a love that defies the laws of nature. You are both survivors.
Jojo was sniffling as she handed Shadow a tissue.
We love you, Shadow, and we're going to make sure Sonic knows he never has to be alone again. Not for a second.
Shadow took a shaky breath, leaning into the warmth of his family. The wailing subsided into quiet, exhausted sobs as he allowed himself to be held. finally letting out the fear he had kept locked away since that day in Robotropolis. The sun is fully up now, and the front door clicks open as Sonic and Marina return from the pier. The morning sun flooded the hallway of the B&B, but the air inside was thick with the weight of the truth. As Sonic and Marina stepped through the front door, the salt air still clinging to them, they were met with a sight they didn't expect. Emma, Regina, Killian, and Henry were standing in the hall, their faces pale and eyes red. The sounds of Shadow's raw, heart-wrenching sobs were still drifting from the kitchen. Sonic stopped in his tracks, his ears flattening.
Is the Shadow okay? Why is he?
Emma softly stepped forward and placing a hand on Sonic's shoulder.
He's letting it out, Sonic. He's telling them about the cell, about your heart.
Sonic's expression shifted from confusion to a deep, pained understanding. He didn't say a word as he walked toward the kitchen, Marina right by his side. When Sonic entered the room, the sight was devastating. Shadow was slumped in his chair, his face buried in his hands, his shoulders shaking with the force of his grief. Maria and Silver were holding on to him, but the pain seemed too big for just two people to hold. Sonic's voice was barely a whisper.
Shadow.
Shadow looked up, his eyes bloodshot and filled with a vulnerability he never showed. For a moment they weren't the ultimate life form, and the fastest thing alive. They were just two brothers who had nearly been torn apart by a monster. Shadow's voice cracked.
I thought I lost you, Blue. I can still feel how cold you were. I was just guessing. I didn't know if I could bring you back.
Sonic walked over and leaned his forehead against Shadow's, his own tears finally falling freely.
But you did. You heard me, even when I couldn't hear myself. I'm sorry I put that on you. I'm sorry you had to be the one to pull me back from that.
Don't you ever apologize for that. Just don't leave me again. Not like that.
Seeing the two brothers finally acknowledging the trauma they shared, the rest of the family couldn't stay back. Tom and Maddie stepped in, wrapping their arms around both boys. Silver, Marina, Maria, Jojo, and Rachel joined in, followed by Longclaw, who draped her wings over the entire group. Even the Storybrooke residents, usually so guarded, felt the pull of the moment. Henry led Emma and Regina into the circle, Regina's voice uncharacteristically soft.
In this town, we talk about true love's kiss breaking curses. But this is the kind of love that actually builds a world. We aren't going to let you carry this alone anymore.
The sun is fully up now, and the front door clicks open as Sonic and Marina return from the pier. The morning sun flooded the hallway of the B&B, but the air inside was thick with the weight of the truth. As Sonic and Marina stepped through the front door, the salt air still clinging to them, they were met with a sight they didn't expect. Emma, Regina, Killian, and Henry were standing in the hall, their faces pale and eyes red. The sounds of Shadow's raw, heart-wrenching sobs were still drifting from the kitchen. Sonic stopped in his tracks, his ears flattening.
New rule. Today is a family day. No practice. No investigating the barrier. No hero work. We're staying right here. We're making a mountain of food. We're watching movies and we're just being together.
Sonic sniffed and offered a small, shaky but upbeat smile to the group.
I think I'd really like that. Especially the food part.
Marina squeezed Sonic's hand while leaning against Shadow's shoulder.
We're all safe, we're all here, and we're going to stay that way.
As the morning progressed, the heavy wailing turned into quiet conversation and the occasional comforting laugh. Killian sat with Shadow and Sonic, telling them ridiculous stories of near misses at sea to lighten the mood, while Regina and Maddie took over the kitchen, the smell of blueberry pancakes finally filling the house. The trauma wasn't gone, the scars of the shock collar and the memory of that silent heart were still there, but the secrets were out in the light. Sonic sat between Marina and Shadow on the oversized sofa, a plate of pancakes in his lap and a sense of safety he hadn't felt in years. For the first time since Robotropolis, he felt like he didn't have to keep running. The afternoon sun began to slant through the windows of the bed and breakfast, casting long golden bars across the living room where the massive eclectic family had gathered. The heavy atmosphere of the morning had shifted into something softer, a quiet, determined solidarity. Sonic sat on the floor, leaning back against the sofa where Marina and Shadow were seated. Jojo was busy braiding small sections of Maria's blonde quills, while Silver and Dib compared notes on a tablet. Near the fireplace, Jack Skellington sat with Sally, his skeletal chin resting in his hand as he watched the scene with profound, hollow-eyed wonder. Zim was uncharacteristically quiet, sitting cross-legged next to Sapphire, who was humming a low, soothing melody that seemed to keep the Urkin's usual frantic energy at bay. Sonic was looking around at everyone, his voice steady but still carrying the weight of the night.
I think I'm done sitting around. This morning, it was a lot, but I feel like I have all this energy in my chest that needs a place to go. I don't want to run. I want to play.
Shadow opened his eyes, his expression lively and supportive.
The studio. We need to lock that rhythm down, Blue, for us, and for everyone who stood by us today.
Joey stood up and clicked his drumsticks together.
I've got the beat stuck in my head already. It's heavy, but it's hopeful. Let's go make some noise.
The group moved as one, a colorful parade of heroes and friends walking across the street to the Blue Angels studio in HQ. Emma, Regina, Killian, and Gold followed, along with Tom, Maddie, Rachel, and the rest of the Green Hills gang. Even Gur marched along, carrying a rubber piggy as if it were a sacred instrument. Inside the studio, the neon indigo lights hummed. Crystal took her place at the keyboards, her fingers hovering over the keys. Joey settled behind the drum kit, testing the snare with a crisp crack. Sonic plugged in his guitar, the distorted growl of the amp echoing through the soundproof room. Marina and Shadow stepped up to the center microphones, sharing a look of silent, unbreakable understanding. Marina was adjusting the mic stand, her hazel eyes bright.
This one is for the knights that tried to break us, and for the family that didn't let them.
Shadow nodded to the observation window where their parents, the Skellingtons, the Urkins, and their Storybrooke friends watched.
Ready when you are.
Sonic struck the first chord, a delicate, ringing note that felt like a star being born in the dark.
The silence was a mountain I couldn't climb. A hollow clock just ticking out the time. I saw the light go flickering in your eyes, like a falling star in the midnight skies. And every wall was cold, and every chain was real, but they couldn't take away the way we feel. I was reaching through the sky, reaching through the gray, begging for the sun to break the shadow of the day. I held the spark, I held the line. I wasn't gonna let you leave this life of mine. So breathe it in, let the soul dead clear the smoke. The weight is gone, the iron collar finally broke. Your heart is beating like a drum against the dark. A living rhythm, a never-dying spark. We're more than the damage, we're more than the scars. We're the pulse of the starlight. We're home where we are. The memory's a ghost that tries to pull you back to the damn stone floors and the faded black. But look around the room, look at every face. There's no more isolation in this place. The current's gone, the wires are all frayed. it's over now. In our sweet trust. So breathe it out.
As the final piano note faded into a lingering, peaceful silence, the studio remained still for a heartbeat. Marina was breathless, her hand resting over her heart, while Shadow stood tall, his gaze fixed on the floor as if he had just exhaled a weight he'd carried for years. Through the observation glass, the reaction was immediate. Maddie was wiping tears from her eyes, leaning into Tom, who looked incredibly proud. Annika was beaming, her indigo aura pulsing in a slow rhythmic glow that matched the song's heartbeat. Jack Skellington was applauding with such vigor that his phalanges rattled. His face split into a wide, joyful grin. Regina stepped up to the intercom, her voice slightly thick with emotion.
I don't usually care for rock and roll, but that was more than music. That was a declaration.
Henry grinned ear to ear.
That's going to be the anthem of this town. I'm serious. You guys just changed the energy of the whole story.
Sonic wiped sweat from his brow. His grin wide and his lively spirit fully returned.
Felt good. Really good. I think the Phantom just officially left the building.
Marina leaned into Sonic's side, her reddish-pink fur soft against him.
We're home blue, no matter what world we're in.
The band has successfully channeled their trauma into a masterpiece. The celebration moved from the studio to the heart of Storybrooke. Granny had been tipped off by Emma, and by the time the group arrived, the diner was transformed. Long tables were pushed together, the neon open sign was buzzing, and the smell of burgers, fries, and shakes filled the air. The whole town seemed to have caught wind of the Blue Angels session. Characters from across the Storybrooke spectrum, from Archie Hopper to the Seven Dwarfs, were squeezed into booths, eager to see the newcomers who had been the talk of the town. Granny was setting down a massive tray of chili dogs in front of Sonic.
On the house tonight. I haven't seen this much life in this diner since the curse broke the first time. Keep that noise coming, kid.
Sonic grabbed a chili dog with a grin that finally reached his eyes.
You got it, Granny! This is exactly the kind of fuel a Guitar Hero needs.
Marina sat beside him, sharing a plate of fries, her reddish-pink fur looking vibrant under the diner's lights. Shadow sat across from them with Maria, looking cool and collected, though he occasionally nodded in time to the music playing over the speakers. Tom raises a milkshake.
A toast to family, to music, and to being fast enough to catch the good moments when they happen.
The whole group cheered in agreement. As the meal wound down, Henry hooked his phone up to the diner's sound system. The chatter died down to a respectful hum as the opening piano chords of Pulse of the Starlight filled the room. The townspeople listened in awe. When the drums kicked in and the dual vocals of Marina and Shadow soared through the speakers, the emotion was palpable. Ruby stopped mid-pour with a coffee pot, and even Mr. Gold stood by the door, listening with a look of rare, quiet respect. Belle whispers to Gold.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's the sound of a heart healing.
When the song finished, the diner erupted into a standing ovation. Jack Skellington stood on a chair, waving his top hat wildly.
Magnificent! A symphony of the soul! Storybrooke has a voice at last.
Zim was munching on a taco, looking suspiciously at the crowd.
The loud noises are acceptable to Erkin and Tenny! I shall allow this celebration to continue!
While the party roared on, Dib and Silver worked in a corner booth with their laptops. Using a bit of Storybrooke's magical Wi-Fi and the tech they'd brought from the HQ, they managed to hit send.
It's out. It's headed for Green Hills. Your parents are going to get the file in about 5, 4, 3, 2.
Marina's phone buzzed instantly with a text.
We heard it. It's incredible, honey. We're showing everyone in town. We love you guys. Be safe.
Marina showed the screen to Sonic, her eyes misty.
They heard us, Sonic, even through the barrier.
Sonic took a deep, happy breath, leaning back against the red vinyl booth.
Yeah, they heard us loud and clear.
The night ended not with the screams of a nightmare, but with the clinking of glasses and the warmth of a community that had grown a little larger and a lot stronger. The Blue Angels had found their rhythm, and Storybrooke had found its heartbeat.